My name is Eric Smith, and this is an excerpt from my autobiographical series, My Life in Not So Much a Nutshell, but more of a Melon, Rind. This is from the fourth of those four books. On Monday morning, I woke up 5 minutes before 7 in the morning. I got up and prepared for my road trip with Randy and Kobe. They picked me up at 8:30 and we set off. Kobe's girlfriend lives on Long Island, so that was our destination. We went through Pennsylvania via the Poconos and then New Jersey. Kobe slept for half the trip, and I pointed out roadkill. It was a long drive after all. We stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts / Baskin Robbins to use the bathroom. There was a building across the street with gold letters across the top that said the Secret Insurance Company. I noted that this wasn't a very good way to keep a secret. When the buildings started getting taller and closer together, I got more excited. We crossed the George Washington Bridge on the lower tier. We got a really foggy view of New York City. I felt something. It might be because the city is so big and so popular and that I've seen it on TV so much, but I felt a strong familiarity with the place. I'd only been to the Port Authority. I went through the Lincoln Tunnel on that day, so I missed most of the view. I was gratefully impressed. Randy is a country boy, so he did not like it very much. I understand. I, however, am absolutely a city person and felt warm-hearted. Kobe sat in the back of the car laughing, highly amused at his dad's disdain for the urban jungle and at my excitement. We turned down West 57th Street, and the first thing I noticed was the Landmark Theater. I never imagined that we'd be blocks away from Central Park, but there we were. We drove down West 57th for a few miles. The Louis Vuitton building had a really intense paint job. The CBS building made me want to stay to see The Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but they had completed filming for the year. We passed by Carnegie Hall and Hearst Tower. We seen a double-decker bus and several yellow taxis. There were so very many people. It is a city that never sleeps, after all. We eventually got to the Queensboro Bridge. Very beautiful architecture on that bridge, I gotta say. After we stopped at a small gas station, which was in between two highways, we made our way to Long Island. An hour and a half later, we dropped Kobe off at the Smith Haven Mall and drove 9 miles to Port Jefferson. Randy and I walked along the beach collecting seashells and rocks while Dusty talked to us in a video call. We watched a large boat called the P.T. Barnum pull into the harbor and dock. By the time that we had turned around to walk back down the beach, the P.T. Barnum was leaving the dock. Watching it turn around in the bay was kind of entertaining. We then walked along the pier and looked at a fishing boat called the Sea Wolf, which belongs to SUNY. Soon we made our way back to the Smith Haven Mall and ate some food in the food court. The Asian girls working at China Max were quite willing to feed us samples. "Here, try this," they kept saying, handing us toothpicks with chicken on them. Randy bought us both a combo platter from them. After we ate, we walked around the shopping mall. They had some stores that the Oakdale Mall once had, and some that our mall never had. The Oakdale Mall had diminished in my lifetime, and that saddens me greatly. The last thing I knew, the Department of Social Services was putting an office in where Sears used to be. The mall on Long Island was quite nice. They had a Disney store, a Lego store, and many places that I'd never even heard of, including a bonsai tree art gallery. Kobe called and said that he was 4 miles up the street with a few friends and his girl. We drove over to him and hung out until 6 p.m. when we planned to head back home. We drove back through Manhattan. This time it was dark out. We rode back over both bridges, this time on the upper tier of the Washington Bridge. The city was lit up, and I loved it. An hour later, I took my last look at New York City and fell asleep for a couple hours. It was a really good trip.